still hurt by her.
No. With all due respect, I'm not hurt. I'm angry.
I got it.
And I don't play games. I told her before we even laid down and had sex, I don't play games.
I understand.
I don't do that. I don't do exes.
I got it. You're still angry.
All I want was the things that I paid for.
All right, so...
When I moved in, I went and bought washer and dryer. I went and bought living room furniture. I went and bought all blankets.
Did you tell her she could keep the washer and dryer?
Yes, I did at one time. If she allowed me, the text message said, if you allow me to get the rest of my stuff, you can keep the washer and dryer for you and the kids. I tried to be fair at all costs. But every time I went over there, it was her explaining to me, I didn't cheat, I didn't do... Look, talking to your ex and telling him how crazy you are about him is cheating to me.
This is not figure out who ruined the relationship court. This is over a very specific amount of money for very specific things.
Right.
So what I want to ask you is all of the cannabis stuff that is clearly yours, there's no dispute. What's the value of that?
It was also my recyclables. I work construction, and this is copper wire, which is $4.67 a pound. There was over 300 pounds of copper wire there.
Did you get rid of any copper wire, ma'am?
No.
Is there hundreds of pounds of copper wire in your garage?
There's no copper.
There was never no wire.
No. Talk to me, not her.
Not that I know of, no.
Did you tell him that you threw away some recyclables?
No, I threw away the cannabis stuff.
Why?
Because he stole my jewelry. He took my jewelry.
All right.
So it was like tit for tat.
Let me ask you guys another question. Why didn't you both file your taxes as head of household and each claim one child?
Because I made more. His check stub was like $400.
Okay, so you just did it.
He just know I just give him money though.
I'd like to hear from Mom too. Mom, you have something to add to this?
What he painting a picture of Selwanna is not her. If you treat her right, it's fine. What she did before you is not making her a hoe or a tramp or what he calls her and bees all day and, you know, tell the baby about the mama like that. It puts her in tears all the time, and it puts me in tears because I know what type of child I raised. I raised 8 kids. So for me to hear this 52-year-old man, and I'm 54, talk about a 35-year-old girl, young lady like this, it breaks my heart because you knew she was young when you got into it, and he just want to paint this picture of her cheating and doing this and doing that, and that's irrelevant to the case.
We're not here to air dirty laundry.
Yeah.
We're not here for that. We're here to decide whether you prove she owes you $1,500, whether you proved that she owes you some property that she has in this garage, and whether she defamed you.
And I
That's what we're here to decide, not her character.
I'm sorry, I have one more question. The one thing that's thrown away is the cannabis stuff. Can you estimate how much the cannabis is worth?
It had to be approximately $2,500 to $3,000.
Where did you get this cannabis?
Just the cannabis stuff alone.
Well, the cannabis stuff was mainly cooking utensils. I used to make cannabis candy. I used to make cake.
Where did you get the cannabis to make the candy?
From the dispensaries.
The cooking stuff is still there.
Okay.
The candy is still there.
All right.
What about the dog?
Yeah. What about Bentley?
I feel sorry for the dog.
I feel sorry for the dog, too.
You want Bentley back?
Do you want the dog?
Yes.
Your Honor, he drops dog food off. He can go in the back and get the dog. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody have any other questions?
No.
Great. The parties are excused while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you both very much. We can't solve this broken relationship. All we can do is decide the economic impact, the damages that are alleged. We find unanimously that you, Mr. Brown, failed to prove your case with respect to the $1,500 in tax return. We find unanimously that you failed to prove your case with respect to defamation. However, we put a value of $500 on the marijuana that you candidly admitted destroying because you didn't want to have it around. So we will give you $500 for that. And we also acknowledge that you're willing to return his dog, plus everything but the treadmill and the washer and dryer. And you ought to do this within 14 days. All right? We'll prepare an order to that effect. So that is the verdict of the court.